Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Kick a Ball podcast. I'm your host for today, Danny Lang, and today we've got a very special guest, a baller of Gardner-Webb University. He's been around the last 3 years, and I mean we've seen what Gardner-Webb's been able to do so far in this season. We got the man behind a lot of the scoring chances, Jaylen Orr, Gardner-Webb University. How you doing today, my man?
I'm good. How are you, man?
Doing well. I got to I'll give a little bit of information that no one cares about, but it's fun just because this was how we got to schedule this. My schedule this year for college, I got a morning class, an afternoon class, and a night class. So I'm fitting, what the interviews don't stop. So we got to fit this in between the afternoon and the evening class. I'm gonna have to run real quick to go to, my night class for a little while, but again, like I said, it doesn't stop the interview grind, and we got to make sure that we get to all the ballers across the country. So, Jaylen, I appreciate you working with my schedule, and I'm looking forward to talking,
No, I
bro.
I appreciate you for reaching out, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, so I guess I mean there's no denying what Gardner-Webb's been able to do so far with this start of the season. I mean, seventh ranked in top drawer with U.S. coaches. This is one of the best teams in the country, safe to say. And a huge part of that has been the steps that you've been able to take. I mean, looking purely at scoring output and what we've been able to see with the jump in your numbers. I mean, 300 minutes played and you've got 5 goal contributions already, four of those being goals, one being an assist. It's ridiculous.
Yes, sir.
And I guess just to go along with what you've been able to see with all of these changes, you being here for 4 years, give us a little bit of an insight of what goes on at Gardner-Webb University in this men's soccer program to where we're seeing this in full force.
I mean, Gardner-Webb is a super small campus. Everyone knows everyone. And so, I mean, when Scott came in, he just changed like our whole like culture. And so like it's super professional. We don't worry about like anything else other than soccer. My freshman year with the old coaching staff, we used to have to schedule training around like class and whatnot, but now we're like schedule class around training, and so soccer has become like the top thing here. And so yeah, I mean that's kind of a little bit about the changes that's gone on here.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge part of establishing a program that's a huge presence, not only in the Big South, but also just in college soccer, when you're able to have boys that are committed enough to that training to where
Yeah.
there are other things that are secondary that come with it. Not
Exactly.
that it's taking away from being a student athlete, but just that, look, you guys got to get your training in and it's got to be at an effective time.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
when that first transition, you mentioned that you were one of these boys that went on. Boys, I say you're 22 years old. I'm younger than you, but you're one of those guys that really was in the middle of that transition. When Scott comes in and or Scott Wells, I should clarify for the
Mhm.
viewer, head coach at Gardner-Webb University. When he comes in and he's looking to make his certain changes and to be able to bring his guys in, what's that like undergoing that kind of change, being a student athlete?
For me, at first it was a bit hard because my major is exercise science, and at Gardner-Webb, because of being such a small campus, like there's only a few class spots available, like for like 9 a.m., 10 a.m. So when you first came, it was hard trying to get my schedule, uh, like kind of around training. I had to miss a few trainings a week just because like it couldn't work.
Yeah, I
But
can
yeah,
understand.
yeah. But now like I'm a senior, I have less classes, so it's all worked out really well, and I think that's a major reason why we're so good right now.
Yeah, sweet. And I
Yeah.
mean, if you're able to talk a little bit about it, what do you think was aside from the scheduling of the trainings, what really made the trainings impactful for you in your development, but also your relationship with your other players and Scott as he came to the helm of this program?
Wait, say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, no, no. Just thinking about outside of just the scheduling of the certain classes, you being able to come in and actually have these impactful trainings. What were the things that you guys were working on maybe early on, if there was any difference between the old staff and how Scott would go about things?
Yeah, we did a lot of at the beginning a lot of individual work. So like he would split us up, defenders, midfielders, strikers. So we did a lot of like 45 minutes. Like there would be some trainings it was just only the strikers, only the midfielders, only the defenders.
Mhm.
And then also one thing that kind of he brought in was film. Like we watch film every day pretty much now. So we're constantly like working on ourselves and also like scouting the other team and just like building this identity of how we want to play for the next game. So that's it.
Huge. And I mean, it's really showing out with the kind of results that you guys have been able to get. I think the marquee matchup that a lot of people were watching out for was Gardner-Webb and West Virginia. And you guys come away with that victory, moving forward and really being able, that was the win that I think really showed people, oh, this is a different team from maybe what we've seen before. You
For
guys were
sure.
always viewed as a quality side. Last
Mhm.
year's national tournament was a win against Oregon State. Um, but you coming off of that West Virginia game, did it feel any different between your locker room, or was it something, knowing that you guys always had that in you, regardless of whatever outside thoughts really had to say about it?
Yeah, I mean, even since last year, my junior year, just the outside noise doesn't really get to us anymore, like we've always been kind of counted out. Even this season, like the Big South had us ranked second for our conference, even though we won it last year. And
Mm.
so like it doesn't phase us. Like every game, no matter the team, it can be the worst team in the country, the best team in the country. We take it all the same. So I mean, I think that's just one thing that separates the top teams is that we don't really care about anything else. Just
Right.
win. Yeah.
And you guys have been able to have these kinds of wins going away. I mean, another win earlier in the year was against James Madison, a win at Davidson, the in Morgantown for this West Virginia match too. I mean, you guys just aren't fazed by these road travels at all, and it's interesting. Um, I guess here's something that I've always asked some of my guys that I guess play a little further in the Coastal Athletic Conference. You have Hofstra, and they've got to go back and forth. They're on Long Island, and it's a pain to be able to go moving in and out. I'm from New York and I'm never on Long Island, and there's a reason for it. Um, but what when you're trying to just use up your own time during just the times where you can't train, you really can't do much, and it's really just the mental side of just these road trips. Is there anything special? Is there anything that's going on in your own head trying to occupy maybe certain thoughts, visualizing anything? Is what's running through your head?
No, I mean, I personally I like to do a lot of visualizing. We've been on the bus a lot this year, so I mean, I just listen to music, visualize. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter where we go, if it's home or if it's away, like adversity, every team has to go through like away games. So it's just a part of the job, really. Um, yeah, I mean, we just want to
Right.
win. So it
Yeah,
doesn't
no,
matter.
and that's
It doesn't
that's
matter.
just it. Wherever you're playing, you've got to go ahead and put the full in the 90 minutes each time.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, I think we really saw a lot of that against Eastern Tennessee State University, just this last matchup, 3-0. You guys controlled the entire match. You had a goal in the 58th minute,
Yes, sir.
adding to that tally. Now at four, but really, I mean, I think you're a dude that could score 10, 11, 12 goals this year for this team. That's really where
Oh
you're on
yeah.
pace at. I've got no doubt that you'll be able to hit that. Um, but give me a few words just about this last matchup. Eastern Tennessee State, coming off of West Virginia, you'll see some of these teams that go ahead and get a big result and maybe can't quite follow through or don't put as forth as much of a dominating performance. That wasn't something that got in the way of you guys. Give me your thoughts on the last matchup.
Yeah, so the last matchup was actually a lot more difficult than I expected.
Hmm?
ETSU, they came out in a low block, pretty much all 11 guys defending in their half. So the first half was pretty stagnant. Like we were just having a hard time trying to break them down in that low block. And then the second half came and we kind of made some changes, which is another reason why I think we're so good is because we're so like adaptable. We have a super deep squad. So like however we need to play, whatever changes we need to make, we trust all the guys coming in off the bench or whatever. And so that's kind of what having the second half, just like quality and three great goals. I'm disappointed that it wasn't on ESPN Plus because it was three really good goals, but
Yeah, me too. I
yeah,
wish he was on ESPN Plus too.
yeah. It was a great second half. So I mean that's just what good teams do, like they find a way to win regardless. So
Yeah, I mean, and it's important for you to be able to have that depth off the bench because it turns a starting 11 into a starting 15. You've
yeah,
been able to see
exactly.
that with these teams that go deep in these national tournaments. I mean, the last 2, 3 years, even this year, we've been able to see Indiana as one team that's been able to do that pretty well. And Yeah, I mean, I've heard it from a lot of the guys that I've been able to talk to, along with many other programs. But I mean, the adaptability piece is what you're saying that I think is very unique to Gardner-Webb.
Yeah.
Every one of you guys, I think, has a secondary position that if you were to be scrambled around a little bit, the team would still work very effectively. How do you make sure that you're staying adaptable as a guy who's staying up front, has that ability to be a winger, but can also just bury his chances when you're on that 18?
Yeah, the game versus ETSU, I started as a nine, and then the second half I switched to right back just so we could get more numbers in the attack, and that's where I scored the goal from. But I mean, for me, it's just like being a footballer, man. Just like having fun on the field. Like as a kid, we all like played every position pretty much. Like at least
Right.
where I grew up, I played goalkeeper a little bit, left back, whatever, center back. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not scared of any challenge. Whatever the team needs, that's what like I'm here to do. Like whatever the job calls for. So
Yeah,
yeah,
perfect. All right, Jaylen. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you giving us the insight on these last few weeks of the season. Obviously, a great start, like we talked about. I mean, getting 4 wins in 5 games. I think you're undefeated. It's
yeah,
four
yeah.
zero
Five.
and one.
No, no, 5-0.
I'm getting crossed up with another team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, no.
5-0.
We
So let
haven't tied.
me.
We haven't lost. You know, nothing. No drop
So,
points.
so thank you for correcting me. It's a Drexel
Okay.
4-0, James Madison 1-0, Davidson 2-1, West Virginia 1-0, and ETSU 3-0.
Yeah, yeah,
The other P, I knew I was going to try. I'm making this transfer over into some of this, but again, I'm looking at the numbers now. 1 goal conceded in 5 matches is ridiculous.
yeah.
Uh, You,
Backline's insane. Keeper's insane. Bro, just great team, man. Great team. The thing is, like, our main starting center backs, like, we've had to rotate a lot in the back line over the past season, like this season. So the quality hasn't dropped at all, which is amazing. So
and that's got to be interesting to coach though too, because you mentioned being a nine and then coming back all the way to be an outside back, playing
yeah.
in the right back role. I mean, what did, how do each of their individual coaches able to sparse that job and make sure they're getting everything out of guys like you who can score but also play an end line well?
Uh, I played a little bit of a wing back this past summer for USO2, and that's kind of how Scott put me on the job. But like I said, I'm not scared of any challenge, right back, left back. Yeah. I just want to be out there on the field. So,
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that also encapsulates every one of the guys that's on this roster for you. I mean,
mhm.
a couple big time transfers from the Sun Belt and the Big Ten that's joining the starting lineup, and I mean, again, a lot of guys that are also international, Brazilian ballers that you've got on this team. A lot of North Carolina talent. You've got a great mix of personalities that's here. How does that all play together in a team dynamic?
Uh, I mean, it's a lot of the returning guys. We just I've taken in the newcomers and just showed them like the expectation and how like we work, train, everything. Like all the details matter, and they kind of just like look up to us, and we're just trying to share as much knowledge as we can with them, so just to get them all on the same page because it is difficult with all the different personalities we have, but it's coming along pretty well this season, which is good.
Huge, huge, huge. Of course. I mean, you've got to be able, there has to be that expectation of the communication of what the standard is at a school like Gardner-Webb that is a powerhouse school this year that people maybe only have looked at in the Big South, winning the conference, but still being doubted at number 2 going into this
Hmm.
year.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's going to be a huge contested battle between this team and High Point throughout the rest of this year. I mean, you've got two, I think, top 10 teams in the country just in that small Big South Conference. Small, but small relative to what some of these other conferences may be dealing with. I mean,
Hmm.
um, regardless of what the external view, and you talked about this a little bit further though too, but you'll hear players that talk about this is what the standard is, and it'll be coming from a huge marquee school, Big Ten, ACC schools that pop out for a nine, for a freshman that's looking to play college soccer. Those are the kinds of schools that you think about right off the top of your head. But when you start hearing it from an organization like Gardner-Webb, it's easier to bring doubters that come in from across the country. How do you make sure that that's not even something that's on your mind, or in the psyche of these people who may come from bigger schools or whatever it may be?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's just football. Like, regardless of where you're playing at, it could be your home country or Penn State, the biggest school. Like, we're all footballers. We all want to win. It's competition, and I think I like it. I think it's easier because like everyone has played at such a high level, so they know like, you know, what to expect, and we all have our different routines and stuff. But I mean, it's football at the end of the day, So yeah,
All right,
just
so
can't
I'll
overcomplicate.
finally. Oh, I'm sorry. I
No, no,
mean,
you're good. You're good. I was
right. No, you're good. Yeah, so we'll finally go into the other act of just specifying, just your own personal journey. We can talk about Gardner-Webb all we want and the relationships, you being involved, but I mean, this is an interview about yourself, Jaylen, and you being able to give us the time. We've got to make sure that we get a few fans, who come watch this episode and become fans of you. So that being said, I mean, I'm here for as long or as short as the story is, but I want to hear your journey through youth soccer and ultimately coming to Gardner-Webb. Again, however long or short it is, I'm here for all of it. Jaylen, you've got the floor for however long you want
Okay.
to take it.
So my first club, I don't know if I said this in the interview yet, but I'm
Mm,
from Gastonia, North Carolina, which is like right outside of Charlotte, pretty small city. My first club was called Gas United, and just me playing like on some grass fields, super not the best, but it may do for what it was. And then as time progressed, it transitioned into Carolina Rapids, and that's kind of where I played like middle school into high schoolish. Um, and then Carolina Rapids became Charlotte Independence. I would say I did play high school soccer for 3 years, my sophomore, junior, and senior year, just at a small public school my sophomore year, and then I went to a private school because of COVID my junior, senior year. So that was that. I got a lot of goals in high school. Um, Kind of starting my sophomore year, uh, that's when I kind of started to know about like ECNL and DA. All the way up until this point, I was just playing like state league, like uh like the teams with the colors like Carolina Rapids white or Carolina Rapids burgundy. And I didn't really know like there was more levels, to the soccer world. So sophomore year came, I got pulled up to play ECNL after like I talked to one of the coaches. He brought me into the team for like a few weeks, and then bro, it's been so long. It feels like, man.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. I can't even imagine remembering this far
I don't
back.
know, but I'll start with Charlotte Independence. So I transitioned to Charlotte Independence after Carolina Rapids. It got deleted, and then I started off playing ECRL, so not even like ECNL, just because of like
League.
the travel and the money. But we ended up scrimmaging the top team, ECNL team at the time. DA was already gone, and I got pulled up, played ECNL, got to play with a lot of good guys. Jefferson Amaya being one of them. A few other ACC guys. I can't think of the top of my head, but um, that and then senior year is when I got pulled up full time ECNL, had a great year, and then all this junior year is when COVID hit for me. So
Mm.
junior year is like the year you're supposed to get kind of start talking to schools, get recruited and everything, but that was kind of put on hold because of COVID. And so when it opened back up, I was kind of scrambling for schools. Um, my first offer I got like in October, my senior year, school in the Patriot League, and then a few other schools I talked to, but just like nothing ever came to fruition. And so Gardner-Webb hadn't been on my mind when I was looking at schools. I actually told myself I was like, I would never come to this school. Like, I don't know why the coach is even emailing me. It's just I would have never come here.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I mean, push came to shove, I had to reach back out. And he was like, "Yeah, man, like super excited for the journey." I actually got one of my club friends who was kind of going through the same thing. His name's August. He's playing at Elon right now. But
Mm.
me and him, we were like, we're gonna come here together. Uh, 3 semesters max, ball out, try and transfer. Uh, yeah, yeah. So that was kind of our mindset going into it. And so my freshman year at Gardner-Webb, I remember before I committed, there's probably like 204 D1 teams in the nation, and we were like 202nd ranked. And so that was crazy. But in my mind, like I was like, okay, it's just numbers, just from last season. Like anything can happen. And the coach at the time, who recruited me, his name's Ollie. He's at he was the head coach at Limestone, but now he's at Emory and Henry. He told me that he brought in a lot of guys, and it was something was about to change this year. Unfortunately, before I came, he took the job at Limestone, so I never even got to really work with him.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so freshman year comes, I have a decent season. I scored only 3 goals. And I got a lot of minutes. Like I was starting a lot towards the end of the season, especially, but I didn't really get like any accolades or any recognition, any attention. So for me, it didn't really make sense to transfer. Um, and that's when Scott came in after that year just because it was time for something to change. And that spring, I didn't play that much just because just a lot of changes and played like 10 minutes in the spring, like 10 minutes a game in the spring, which was pretty disappointing, but it's part of the process, you have to suffer sometimes. Then the fall comes, super excited. Um, but that actually ended up being like the worst season, the worst time of my life. We only ended up winning 4 games, two at the beginning, two at the end. And throughout that whole entire season, I was just so down on myself, so hard just because of like I put my identity into soccer and it wasn't we were playing bad. Not really playing bad, but just we weren't winning. I wasn't playing as good as I thought I could be playing. And so like I was super just down on myself that whole entire semester. And that's kind of how I transitioned into like my faith, which is like a huge part of who I am
Mm.
to today. Just I realized that I couldn't put my identity or self-worth into a sport just because it'll never fulfill you. So that's kind of how I got into, you know, taking God seriously. I'd known about him my whole life, but taking him seriously now just because I felt like I had nothing else to lean on to. And so that I've carried that with me to this day, of course. And also being at Gardner-Webb, which is like a Christian campus, really helped me. Like they provided lots of opportunities for me to go to different events and just, learn more about God and express my beliefs. So the spring comes, and I think this is when spring 2024 is when everything for Gardner-Webb culture in the program kind of changed. Um, at the beginning of the spring, we had a players meeting, just the players, and we let everything out on the table, what we wanted, the future to look like, the standard, the beliefs, values, everything. It was a great meeting. And then that's when they had introduced the Carolina Cup, which is like a spring league tournament for a few teams. And so we ended up winning that. Um, and that kind of carried us into junior year, my junior year, which is last year, fall of 2024. Um, yeah, we just carried that momentum and we knew like we wanted to win the Big South. Like the Big South was super attainable.
Yeah.
And one thing about I'll get to that story a little bit later, but
Mm.
go the whole season, uh, win some games, lose some games. Me personally, I didn't have an amazing season. I only scored 1 goal versus Wake Forest. I was in and out of the starting lineup, suffered a lot of injuries, and yeah, tough. But I'm happy for the team, of course, the success that we had. and to beat High Point in the final was amazing. Especially like one story is in the spring, the spring before the Carolina Cup, we played them kind of like in the final, and we beat them in PKs. And we're walking out the field, and one of the guys is like, "Yeah, let them have this spring championship. We'll beat them when it really matters." And so that kind of stuck with us, and that was our motivation for the season. We're like, we're gonna come here. We're gonna we're gonna prove that we're not just a spring team. We're gonna win when it matters. And to beat them twice at their home field was amazing season. And then kind of going into the NCAA tournament, we felt like we got screwed a bit going to Oregon State when all the other teams were playing locally in North Carolina.
Mhm.
So that was just another moment of adversity for us to overcome, and we did. And then unfortunately, Denver was the travel was they beat us, man. That no really words to say. They outplayed us that day. So um, yeah, that was junior year. And then let me think. Is that good? Like, do you want me to keep going or?
I mean, I've loved what you've given us so far. I mean,
Yeah.
if you've got anything else to say, I don't want to cut you
Mm.
off, but if there's and what were you going to say about this spring season?
Oh, this past spring, let me think. What do we do? Yeah, another Carolina Cup. We didn't win it this time, but after the fall, after we won the Big South, we had a lot of guys leave that we thought were going to stay. We got a whole new coaching staff pretty much just because they got better opportunities, which I'm happy for them now. And so I don't know if you know our assistant coach, Carl Reynolds. He's like,
I know the name, yeah.
yeah, yeah. But he's a class coach, man. He came in the spring and working with him has been amazing so far. Just super high ball knowledge, super hardworking, like engaging. Pr Probably one of the best coaches I've ever had, to be fair. And so that was what the spring was for, just kind of getting to use how he coaches and stuff like that. Um, and then this past summer, I played a little bit with Charlotte Independence, USL2. I ended up getting injured like halfway through, so I sat out. But yeah, and that leads us into the fall right now. So
Yeah, I mean the fall is where all that work from the spring and the summer seasons can ultimately pay off. And
exactly, yeah.
um, I mean, has anything felt different going into this year? Do you feel like you've been given more of a chance to be able to be a shot taker, or maybe just I don't even, I really don't know if I can quite put my finger on it because it just seems like you're a completely different player in terms of what you've been able to be trusted with. You've still got a lot of the same skill set, but I mean, someone that is just productive on a different level. Is there anything to it, or it's just now you've been able to, this is just the year. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is the year, senior year, of course, but in the summer, like when I got injured, I found an old link with one of my like my club season from maybe like junior, senior year. So I was just watching like my old club highlights where I was scoring like 2, 3 goals a game, and I was thinking like, man, like why can't I get back to that kid, bro, who's just having fun, scoring goals? And so that's kind of how the mindset I came with this year. It's just like, let me just go back to being that kid on the field again, having fun. So right now we're just having fun.
And look, I mean, you've been that dude for a while, so I'm looking at your match against Concord First Baptist when you were in high school, I believe. You remember how many
Yeah,
goals you scored in that game?
8 goals, man, 8 goals.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I know
So
I'm going a little further back with this, but
I,
what
for,
do you
I
remember from
forgot
that
about that
game?
too. You brought it up, so I'm glad. Yeah.
Good. All right. What can you tell me about the game then? I'm sure one of them had to have been a screamer from like 30 yards out or something.
The thing is, Concord. I think it's called Concord First Assembly. Maybe I'm not sure, but
Mhm.
that's his school. Like when I came to Gaston Christian as a transfer, they're like, man, like this team is so good. They beat us every year. I was like, okay, we'll see how good these guys are. So the
Sure.
first time we played them, I just like super clinical, man, just goals on goals, and we ended up
Uh-huh.
winning like 11-2, like Mercy ruled them. And then we played them again later in the season, and they put 3 guys on me. Where I win, and we ended up losing pretty bad, like 5-1. And then we played them again in the state tournament, lost again. So.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
he is
But that was a before they knew who I was, man. That was a great time, of course.
crazy. No, that's the kind of story that like whatever from one of these Concord guys, like, oh, how did you know you weren't gonna play D1 or how'd you know you weren't gonna play professionally? Yeah, no, this kid Jaylen Orr tore us up 11-2 one time.
Yeah.
Knew I wasn't at his level. Crazy. So what is, I mean, it's clear that you've got a left foot and a right foot though too. I mean, I think a lot of the commentary on a lot of the matches will speak to it too, but same as the film. But you're a dude that can operate on that left side and shoot with your left foot, and it makes it look like, um, that you get confused of where your footedness really lies, which is interesting. Like, what's behind the process of being better with your left foot or being better with your weaker foot? Like, give us an insight for someone who's been around for 4 years and maybe a young kid who's listening to this, why it's so important to have that footedness and to be able to take a shot with both feet.
Yeah, I mean, being able to use both feet is just it makes it harder for the defender, because if he forces you one way, like, okay, that's no problem, I'll go that way. Whatever way he forces you, you just take that way and it makes your life a whole lot easier. But COVID is when I like really locked in, had nowhere to go. So I was just in my backyard training my weak foot a lot. And then I came back and I actually ended up like favoring my left foot a lot more. So I take pins now
Interesting.
left footed actually. So I would say I'm left footed now. If somebody asks, I'd be like, yeah, I'm left footed. So
Yeah, no, and I don't blame
yeah,
you. I mean, how does that never hurts you?
yeah.
Because the whole thing about the other thing about strike being a striker too is a lot of it comes down to in one-on-one situations, a lot of it comes down to an angle,
hmm
positioning where your defender is, knowing how much you need to be able to put on a shot, where the keeper is relative to his defender, how much separation that there is there. And there's a lot of quick decision making that you've got to make. What helps you either slow the game down and help with your decision making, or at least change the pace of the defender to figure out what the best action is moving forward?
So as far as like getting better with it, I would say just playing small-sided, being in a, high-paced environment where you're getting a lot of touches. That for
Mhm.
me helped a lot. But also watching other professionals do it, like before every game, I watch one player that like I kind of want to play like for the game,
Mhm.
and I watch their highlights and just watch like stuff they do, and yeah, I mean that helps me a lot, just learning from other people and just playing. The more you play, like the better you're gonna be. So.
Yeah, huge. And I mean, I feel like the small sided piece is interesting that you bring that up though too, because it could be something, whatever, you're working off of a wall, or it could be a 5-on-5 or a 3-on-3. Maybe you're not doing it so much right now because you've got to
Mhm.
be you can't be risking anything in your senior season.
Yeah, for real.
Um, but North Carolina is just it's just a different world when it comes to the soccer or the youth soccer scene and what you may have been able to have been exposed to. Now, I don't know, I mean, I haven't been with you your entire life, but from a New York guy, North Carolina seems to be where you'd want to play if you want to go find that kind of top talent outside of like, I mean, we've got Jersey and Long Island and a little bit of New York City, but there's just nothing like across the entire state of North Carolina, it seems. Tell me about your experience in playing with some of these other top guys and maybe what the club process was like for you, what the exposure for youth soccer was like when you were growing up.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of showcases in North Carolina. Raleigh, the capital, showcases there. And like even my club, we host our own showcases. But if you just even think about like the top schools in D1 right now, like most of them are around this area. You got the schools in the ACC, High Point, UNCG. There's a lot of talent in North Carolina. And so just like for me being brought up in that, playing with so many good guys as well, like I mean, it just made me a better player than who I am today.
Right. Yeah. No, it's interesting though too because I mean I've talked with some of the guys who have come from so many different parts of the country, and they all talk about North Carolina being this just an enigma, a state that doesn't quite have like a New York City, but that
Mhm.
doesn't take away from anything about the kind of content and the quality that they've got going on together. Like
Yeah,
it's
I don't know where it came from, but I'm glad it's in North Carolina.
right, yeah, huge, huge, bro. So, um, yeah, I'm trying to even think about where even to figure out the next real piece of this conversation is going to end up being. But I'm just thinking, um, you know, you had a little bit of trouble in this past summer with just staying healthy, and there's only so much you really can do about that between conditioning and recovery and whatever freak occurrence may have even happened. Um, Coming back into this senior season, and even if it's separate from this past summer, but even so much as something like jamming your finger can throw you off in a particular game or throw off your recovery and whatever else it ends up being. How do you trust yourself to get back to playing at 100% aside from, whatever recovery and maybe staying away from the game for however long? What gets you back to being 100% both physically, but also up here?
So I've dealt with quite a lot of injuries in my past, starting like my junior year. I had suffered a nasty tackle in preseason, sprained my ankle. Also like sprained my LCL last year as well. And so like the process is difficult. Injuries are, I think, the worst part of the game, to be honest, because they just suck, man. But yeah, I mean, I've been injured before. I know like what it takes, what things you have to do. Like it takes time. It takes being responsible, getting your rehab done, and I mean just knowing your body as well. That's a big thing. Um, so yeah, I mean, I got a paper cut when I moved in to Gardner-Webb this semester, and I was like, ah man, this is gonna affect me a little bit, but nah, it's all good. So yeah,
Good,
I mean,
I'm glad, bro.
yeah.
And you mentioned this earlier in your conversation too, but faith being a huge part of your own journey these last few years. I have to imagine that you do a little bit of not soul searching is the wrong word, but just digging deep into your own mental to make sure that you're keeping up both consistent in your physical life, but also your spiritual life.
Yeah, of course, like that's one thing that really helped me, especially this past summer. I
Mhm.
pulled my hamstring, and when you get injured, you kind of look at the negative side of things. But for me, this injury, I kind of looked at the positive side of things, and I thought like, man, like, okay, I've been super busy, blah blah blah. This is a time where I can, sit down, reconnect with God,
Right.
get my faith back, and not my faith back. I had my faith, but just like
Mhm.
talk to God more, develop that relationship. And that's kind of what gets me through like any injury or like any adversity I face now. It's just like knowing that he's got my back, man. Like he's not gonna leave me here stranded. He's always working something up.
Right.
And that's kind of the whole testimony of like my whole Garden Web career, like there's been so many times I wanted to quit, but after prayer and then like talking to my parents, honestly, if it wasn't for my parents, I probably wouldn't be here right now because after my sophomore year, I wanted to leave really bad, but they told me that, it's easier to quit right now when things are going bad, but to stick it out and, I prayed about it, ended up staying, and now like I'm reaping what I sowed, and so it's just amazing, bro. Like full circle kind of moment.
Yeah. A huge piece of just faith, but also your position of being a student athlete too comes down to being patient.
Hmm.
You can't have everything all at once. And
Yeah,
I mean, I hear a lot of guys that had help that faith really helps them with reconciling with that, knowing that there are things that you may not quite see in that future just yet, but will exactly like you're saying, reaping what you've sowed. And it's such a huge part of staying patient, staying hungry as well. It's an interesting balance together.
yeah, absolutely.
And like I mentioned, um, this being your senior season before whatever pro opportunities end up coming your way, and you having to make that decision when the time has come. How do you think about that future aspect of your own career, doing everything that you can right now to make sure that you get those chances with MLS, USL, international clubs, whatever it ends up looking like when your time at Gardner-Webb is done, but also knowing that there's a job to be to finish this upcoming fall. I mean, I've said it probably 5 times already, but I mean, this Gardner-Webb team is something special. Um, but help me out. How do you make sure you're looking forward but not too far forward is what I'm trying to get at.
I mean, for me, it's just all the same, like in order for those opportunities to come, for me to be prepared, I have to focus on right now and taking care of like the season in front of me. And
Mm,
so like just making sure I'm doing everything I can like to help the team win because ultimately that's what will bring the attention as I've learned is team success and then later comes the individual like recognition and stuff. So I mean just doing everything that I can to help the team win, making sure that I'm staying healthy, improving every day. So yeah, that's kind of I look at it all like all as one man, all as one process.
yeah, 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 yeah. And so what have the last few days looked like for you, just relative to recovery, your personal time, the training time, school? What is this? I mean, I guess what the last few days look like, and then moving into, I mean, the match on Friday. How are you feeling? How's the team feeling? And then, we'll look to wrap up, and I'll leave you to the rest of the preparation.
Yes, sir. So Friday we had our game. And then, oh no, last Saturday we had our game. Sunday we went to the pool. No,
Mm,
no, Sunday we had an off day. Monday we went to the pool, did a bit of recovery there. Tuesday, just light training, trying to just get back into it. Today was a bit heavier load. Tomorrow will be a little bit lighter as we get ready for our match on Friday. So
mm,
yeah, I
huge.
forgot what else. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
as far as yeah, we're excited. It's going to be like a pretty big game on campus. We got all the sports teams coming out, having a little tailgate before the game, which I've 4 years here, we never had a tailgate for a soccer game. I mean, just the buzz around campus, everyone's super excited to watch us play. It's not every day you get to watch the number 7 team in the country play, especially here in Boiling Springs. So everyone's pumped, man. I'm excited. Everyone's excited.
Yeah, right. I mean, Gardner-Webb is a soccer school. It's a bona fide soccer school, and that's because of people like yourself, guys like Scott Wells coming in, and I mean the culture that's been built around this kind of team, the talent that's been brought in, and the expectation that you've talked about.
Yeah.
Huge. Jaylen, it's been a pleasure to be able to talk with you. I'm glad we got to pick your brain. I'm glad I've gotten to see, a little bit more of just the kind of person that you are. You've got a fan and I don't ever say fan, but you got a supporter in me.
Yes.
The rest of the I feel like fan is a weird word.
I'm a
But
supporter of the podcast as well, man. Keep it up, man. I think this is great what you're doing.
thank you, Jay. I appreciate that, bro. Best of luck to you, the rest of the guys, and I'm looking forward to staying in touch. And yeah, again, I mean, you got a supporter in me and kick a ball the rest of the way. Gardner-Webb, whoever's running the socials collaborates with us on everything, and it's been
Yeah.
awesome. Just like
I wasn't sure if you gave our manager the login info for your account because everything's all pod.
no, I mean, look, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
Like Gardner-Webb's been there from the beginning. So to see it's also another like a personal thing for me, like to see you guys doing well. I think everyone, maybe with the exception of some of the teams that you guys play, everyone's better off when Gardner-Webb is good.
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Jaylen,
Thank you so much for having me, man.
yeah, of course. Jaylen, I'll talk to you soon, man.
Yes, sir. Good luck with your class.
Thank you.